Did you know that before going mainstream, many of the famous mangaka behind your favorite series got their start in the spiciest side of the manga industry, creating full-on henbota? Get ready to clear your watch history, because this is a deep dive into every famous manga artist with a degenerate past in henbota. Obviously, given the subject matter, this video will be censored to be in full accordance with YouTube's TOS. However, if you're someone who would prefer to see the fully uncensored and raw footage, as well as the sauce to every single henbota work of the artist mentioned, for research purposes of course, check out the video's descriptions for the links and directions. Starting with Nanashi, better known as 774. 774 is the mangaka behind the hit series Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, a story where teasing led to one of the best slow burn romances in modern romance manga. Nagatoro's sadistic nature toward her senpai and crush is both one of the aspects of the series that captivated fans of the unorthodox love story and what caused it to be the center of a few controversies of its own, as some viewers felt that the teasing was just glorified bullying. But no matter what side of that discussion your opinion falls, one thing is for sure, 774's earlier works make Nagatoro's teasing seem as menacing as a trip to Winnie Hut Jr.'s. As before he became a mainstream success, he honed his skills as an artist in the world of henbota as a doujinshi creator, publishing multiple explicit manga under the doujin circle 774 house, specializing in aggressive over-the-top fandoms and or just straight up humiliation experiences, as well as doujins of Naruto that take place after the last Naruto the movie. 774's Naruto manga were a lot more romantic in nature than his previous works and acted as a turning point in his career that eventually led to him going mainstream with a softer take on his signature style that was more acceptable for a mainstream audience. Next is a manga artist by the name of Mingo Yoko Yari, whose mainstream hits include Oshinoko and Scum's Wish. Yoko Yari was able to become the master of toxic relationships because practice makes perfect. She enjoys drawing characters that are as beautiful as they are damaged, regardless if it's the idle drama tragedy of Oshinoko or the turbulent mindscape that is Scum's Wish. Yoko Yari's artistic talent thrives in depicting emotionally chaotic scenes. If you're a fan of her mainstream works and ever wondered how did she get so good at drawing and writing those twisted mind games, well, let's not sugarcoat it. It's henbota manga. Before entering the view of mainstream eyes, Yoko Yari crafted stories filled with adult themes, including tangled hookups, manipulation, and ideas that weren't exactly suitable for all ages. Basically the same emotional wreckage that made her famous in recent years, but just uncensored. Her henbota works are emotionally intense to the core and is laced with the same heavy atmosphere that makes Oshinoko so haunting. If the past of Yoko Yari surprised you, that's understandable, but I'm positive if this is your first time discovering this next manga artist was cooking up spicy manga in his past, you will be far less surprised. Shun Saki, the mind behind the idea and illustration of Food Wars. Learning the master of the foodagasm produced adult manga in the past is probably as surprising as learning fire is hot, but nonetheless, it's true. Saki operated under the alias Tosh, and unlike some of the other manga artists in this video, Saki didn't just experiment with the spiciest side of the manga world, but had a full-time career in the medium. Shun Saki's art is and has always been god tier. When the Food Wars team came out with a One Piece collaboration about Sanji, I had to go out and buy a physical copy, because even though I am a fan of Oda's unique original art style, everything Saki touches is fire as well, and I just had to see the cooking manga genius's take on on our favorite piratey shelf. And he did not disappoint. Yoto Tsukada, the writer behind Food Wars, said in an interview with Anime News Network that illustrator Shun Saki came up with the idea of a girl eating food and she expresses herself about the food with ecstasy. But since Saki liked illustrating more than writing and wanted to focus on drawing the manga, he needed someone to write a storyline, so he got Tsukuda. Honestly, it's fascinating how Saki's skills of drawing euphorically expressive faces, wild poses, and glossy finishes translated a little too perfectly into the world of cooking dolls. By the way, if you want to help me feel as euphoric as any Food Wars character eating something cooked by Soma, just like this video and subscribe to this channel for more of the deepest dives into all things anime and manga. Next, we have one of the most flabbergasting career timelines I've covered yet on any video. Ken Akamatsu, best known for his hit series Love, Hina, and Neguma. Ken is considered one of the kings of harem romantic manga, as he has created back-to-back successful series in the niche. Now, though there is some fan service in Ken's mainstream works, if you've only consumed them, it would still be mildly shocking to learn that Ken started out his career by drawing explicit doujins. His early works contained unapologetically adult themes filled with over-the-top fan service and or just straight up Yuri Henbota. But by the time Love, Hina hit the scene, Ken had polished his style into a more market-friendly take on the same daydream. One clueless guy, tons of gorgeous girls, and endless accidental ecchi chaos. However, Ken Akamatsu's social glow-up didn't just stop at going from full-on Henbota works to a major player in the mainstream manga scene, and his second career pivot is even more impressive. You see, Ken Akamatsu spends much of his free and professional time being a vocal advocate of protecting freedom of expression in manga and anime from the expansions in Japan's censorship and copyright laws. In 2011, he warned that proposed changes in Japan's copyright law under the proposed Trans-Pacific Partnership would destroy Japan's doujin scene. In 2013, he continued to speak out on the same concerns as a spokesman on behalf of Japan's Cartoonist Association, and then he became their managing director in 2018. But he didn't stop there. In 2022, he ran and won a seat in the Japanese House of Counselors with his free expression platform. And in 2024, he was appointed the Parliamentary Vice Minister for Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. Basically, Japan has an otaku senator fighting for the rights of both professional and amateur manga artists to not be censored or limited by laws that allow copyright abuse from big corporations. I think it's really cool that Akamatsu never forgot or hid he came up trapping doujins. It's the opposite morally of how Crunchyroll betrayed the same type of anime fans it used to blow up. Check out my video, The Deserved Downfall of Crunchyroll, if you don't get what I'm referring to. Next is the mangaka Fumato Yanaga. Yanaga is known for creating one of the most charming gender role-bending romantic comedies in recent years, with Tomo-chan is a girl. However, peeking behind the curtain of the adorable chaos reveals an artist who once ventured into less wholesome storytelling. Before her mainstream success, Yanaga produced spicy doujins under various aliases, exploring themes like awkward romantic tension and first times gone awry. Even though Yanaga's early works are very much henbota, many of them still showcase the emotional beats that would later define her style, specializing in characters who flirt embarrassingly yet sincerely. Next is Kayou Kuyu, the mind behind Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. The overall reputation of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is that it is a great series series with its pure and feel-good slice of life approach, containing just the right amount of fan service. However, before Kayou Kuyu made it big with his story about the dragon waifu, he made his money illustrating, you guessed it, hen bowtie, mostly focused on monster magical girls, which, as you know, is a niche he stuck with when he switched to mainstream manga. By the way, unlike most of the other manga artists on this list, Kayou Kuyu isn't hiding his past by changing his pseudonym. Kayou Kuyu Senja's spicy works are shockingly still up on the internet to this day under the same name. That being said, nothing shocked me more than the rabbit hole I discovered while researching our next manga artist who just wanted to smash them all, I mean catch them all. Toshihiro Ono, the man behind the Pokemon manga, specifically Pokemon The Electric Tale of Pikachu. Okay, I need you to lock in because this segment is very interesting, especially if you're a Pokemon fan. Toshihiro is the artist behind much of the early global success of Pokemon. He began drawing his Pokemon series after Sato, his editor, asked him to draw up a manga to go along with the original Pokemon anime that came out following the success of the first Pokemon games. After he received the scripts that was used for the anime adaptation, Toshihiro decided he would keep most of the characters and storylines the same in his manga. Although some events and depictions of the characters did diverge slightly from the anime, and the world itself was given a visibly higher level of technology. Pokemon The Electric Tale of Pikachu's original serialized run would be from April 1997 to December 1999 in the children's manga magazine Besatsu Korokoro Comic. This means that Toshihiro's manga came out only 1 year after the first Pokemon game released. So yes, he was there very early on in the story of the rise of Pokemon's insane popularity. And he wasn't just there, he 100% contributed to it as well. The Electric Tale of Pikachu's individual chapters were a success, so they were collected into 4 Takobon volumes and released, which also sold very impressively, increasing Pokemon's popularity in Japan. But Toshihiro's real impact on the Pokemon franchise would come when a company called Viz Communications bought the North American English licensing rights to his manga, making the Electric Tale of Pikachu the first time that any Pokemon manga series was translated to English. After the English chapters were collected and released as volumes, issue 1 became both the best-selling manga and the best-selling comic book of any type in the entire United States that year, the highest for a single comic book since 1993, making Toshihiro a globally famous manga artist who was helping lay the foundation of what would become the IP worth the most in media franchise history. It's important to mention that Toshihiro's take on Pokemon did have the same charming vibe that Pokemon would become known for, but the Electric Tale of Pikachu did catch me off guard with how adult some of the aspects of the manga was, given how kid-friendly modern Pokemon is. I can see why it's reported that the series helped Pokemon expand its reach to an older demographic. In the first chapter, Pikachu gets hurt pretty badly with like blood and everything. Also, there are some very risque shots of lady characters as early as the second chapter. But even besides the fan service, I can see how Toshihiro's manga helped hook an older audience onto the adventures of Ash and crew. I'm sure at least a few of you watching right now is thinking Toshihiro's spicy origins couldn't have been that extreme. I mean, he was hired to write a children's manga. Well, it turns out that Toshihiro has created some of the most explicit hen bowtie of anyone on this list. Even the names of his early works are so extreme, I can't even risk saying them right now or YouTube would Thanos snap my channel from this realm. But like I said earlier, I will drop the sauce to every hen bowtie from the artist I mentioned mentioned via the links in the video's description. I have to say, I'm very impressed you made it to the very end of this video. Make sure you drop a spicy pepper emoji or the word pepper in the comments so I know you're a real one.